Welcome to the State Specific Show, where we weave across the country and the world to highlight local sneaker cultures specific to those geographic areas. My name is Gabriel Fortson. You can find me across all social platforms at Gabriel Fortson. Our guest tonight represents Columbus, Ohio. Fashion and style and everything adjacent have made him an icon in the culture. He saw a space in the culture that was underserved and helped to expand it to empower individuals and their families to get fly, stay fresh, and do it without breaking the bank. He uniquely provides examples for big and tall brothers to maximize wardrobe essentials. He has collaborated with many major brands and has his own clothing line called Tutelage. His Get Ready With Me's are legendary, and he is a primary tastemaker and host throughout the city of Columbus. Please welcome Destin to the show.
What's good?
What's,
What's good? Appreciate you
what?
having me, King.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, my brother. It's a pleasure, man. I know we've been working on this for a minute, so I'm glad we were finally able to make it all work out, man. Thank you for taking the time.
Oh, no problem, brother. No problem. Anything for the frat.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I should have mentioned that in the intro, man. That we men of distinction up in here. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So let's jump off into this thing, man. So we're gonna start off with what's your first memory of having a personal connection with style and culture?
Man, I would say my first memory was kindergarten. I got a pair of Columbia 11s,
Okay.
and I was just like, man, I got to keep these fresh. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Nobody told me about, keeping them fresh. It was just naturally in me. Like I was so focused on making sure that that bottom stayed icy. I had a wet wipe in a little plastic baggie. I kept it on deck. And when I got a little scuff and when it got dirty, I was wiping them off, making sure that they was fresh. That was like my first pair of Jordans that I can remember. So I cherish those, and that's when I really like I said, kindergarten. That's my first memory of just, trying to be fresh, trying to keep my shoes clean.
Ah, that's dope, man. So you actually may have invented the little sneaker cleaning wipes, man. You know what I'm saying? In the garden, yeah, with your little sneaker pack. Yeah, and I tell you what, man, it's like when you were saying that, I'm thinking, okay, you're a kid, you get something, you get a new pair of sneakers, but then for them to be that color and like with the materials and everything that it had for that sneaker, I can see how some people might not like let it connect, but okay, it clicked like this is a special pair of sneakers. And because it's a special pair of sneakers, I got to do some things to make sure that this joker stays fresh, as long as possible, man. So that's pretty dope. Now, like back then, like thinking about kindergarten, grade school, that kind of thing, did people like look to you for like fashion? Like were you like known for like fashion or was that kind of a one off until you got a little bit older?
Uh, not in kindergarten because I wore a uniform actually all the way up until high school.
Oh,
So
wow.
honestly, the sneakers is how differentiated ourselves and used to try to match the under tee with your shoes and everything like like that. So that's kind of I always did have like a knack for sneakers. Growing up I used to like the Air Force Ones, definitely big on those. Um Jordans, obviously. Uh that was those two like going into middle school.
Hmm.
That was kind of where I really was just Air Force Ones. I was just trying to get the Mardi Gras Air Force One, the Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Man, that was a good time, you know what I mean? The Easter Air
Yeah.
Force Ones had those,
Yep.
and then they about to come back out with those next month, so I gotta they not the exact pair, but they close to it, so,
Yep.
yeah, Forces was heavy, Forces and Jordans, and then as I got older, a little bit more money,
Hmm.
the internet, then I started seeing other things. I was like, "Oh, okay, so other things out there except,
Yeah.
Forces and Jordan."
Oh, that's dope, man. That's dope.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and I can't even imagine, man, like having that whole deal with the uniform because you're right. Like your only creativity comes from your kicks. So it sounds like fortunately, you had the resources to be able to kind of like get some of the kicks that you wanted, man. But like for those that kind of had to wear, that standard pair of kicks every day, like I'm pretty sure that that was probably boring, So,
Yeah, my
um,
thing was I was a good student, so every grading period I get a pair of shoes because I have like all A's or A's and B's, and
okay,
so that would be my incentive to make sure that I get say fresh. I
yeah,
make sure that my grades is right. My granddad will buy me a pair of shoes. Birthdays, holidays, you get a pair of shoes, and then I just was stacking them up like that and keeping them clean. Um, I also remember back in middle because like this was before you didn't have nice kicks and
hmm
you know soul collector and things like that. I had Kicks magazine. That's what we used to like. Kicks magazine, the East Bay magazine. That's what we used to look at.
yeah,
And man, that Kicks magazine always used to come out around when school started, and it have all the shoes that's about to come out, in that year. And we used to just circle what we wanted or what we thought we was gonna get. And then you had the Nike ID back in the day
hmm
where you had your locker. I just used to make tons of shoes that I'm never gonna buy. To have my little locker, had shoes that
right,
we designing shoes back then, back in middle school in the computer lab when we got a little free time and whatnot. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember all that.
I'm pretty sure Nike probably used some of your designs that you never got a chance to buy.
I don't know if they were any good, but that we was trying it.
No doubt. So, like, you grew up in Columbus.
Dayton, Ohio.
You grew up in Dayton. Okay. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Dope. So
937.
937. So, like, in Dayton was like getting fresh, like, was style like big in Dayton, or was it like, hey, we kind of look towards some of the other surrounding cities to kind of look towards that? Like, what type of like scene was that growing up in Dayton?
If you ask me, I feel like Dayton is probably the flyest city in Ohio. If you just want
Okay.
to, if we being honest, you know what I mean. We the
Yeah.
home of the Ohio players. You feel me? So it's like we just it's just in us. Roger Zach.
No doubt.
So we cool, we smooth. You feel me? But we do have a lot of influence in like Detroit.
hmm
So that's I wear the Cartiers. That's a big staple in Detroit culture. I used to have the Maury Gators back in the day that, some of the old heads or the older guys used to wear. Oh, and the Kohan, before Kohan, like switched over to Kohans was fire, the Prada cups,
Yep.
different things like that. Polo was really big.
Yeah.
So that was kind of our culture. And I still do a lot of that, in today. I'm from Dayton. I still kind of I'm coded in that, but I still modernize it, if you will.
Okay.
You feel what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Columbus is more like a college town, right? I mean, is there like a lot going on around like style and stuff like that in Columbus that you're seeing right now, or is like how do people move in Columbus like currently?
Believe it or not, it's a very big style community.
Okay.
Columbus is the top is one of the it's the 15th one of the 15th largest cities in the country, and
Okay.
we have a lot of headquarters in Columbus. So you got Abercrombie and Fitch, L Brands, which has Victoria's Secret, Express, DSW is headquartered in Columbus.
Wow.
So it's a lot of different uh clothing brands that are based out of here, and it's a lot of brands that like Homage is a brand. Soul Classics is a brand from in Kings Row. You got Made Nakan, his Made company that's he's going crazy right now with his different collaborations with different companies, Mitchell and Ness. Think he did some stuff with Lids. So yeah, we have some creators here and there, tutelage.
Yeah, absolutely.
We on the come up.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yes, sir.
That's on the real, bruh. So we talked about sneakers earlier, but do you consider yourself a sneakerhead? And if you are or not, that's not that big of a deal because your style like just encompasses everything. You know, what's like the most interesting sneaker that you've copped, like, since you've been wearing sneakers?
I would consider myself, I just never liked the term sneakerhead, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, it's kinda corny, but, I do feel like I'm a collector. I've been doing it since, like I said, high school. I got shoes from high school that I still, have. Probably can't wear them anymore because 'cause they're just probably about to crumble. Man, I'm looking over. I'd probably say the Sean Wotherspoon is probably one of my favorite, sneakers that I had, and just that story of hitting on like, just hitting on that sneaker was like hitting the lottery almost, you know what I mean? I hit on that on sneakers that I
Oh,
remember I
dope.
was at work, I put in the raffle just like, "All right, whatever, we're gonna see if it hit," but I didn't have my hopes up. Man, when I got that got 'em notification, I, like, literally did a yelp, and my guy that was sitting next to me like, "Dude, you alright?" I'm like, "Man, I just hit," you know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So that's probably one of my favorite sneakers, you know what I mean? I don't wear it as much anymore, but if I wanna bring something out that's gonna break necks, that's one of them ones for sure.
Yeah, no doubt, man. That's
Yeah.
still one that's escaped me, man. I can't seem to put my hands on it. I can't pay that
Oh,
resale
man.
price, you know?
Definitely, he was probably one and done with that one. I don't know if he had anything that was as good or as shifted the culture like that one, but
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
He
when
he
I
did
wanna
a
bring
few other
something
things,
out.
but nothing that made that type of impact for sure. Yeah. So, is there like a particular pair of sneakers that you have that's like your go-to that like universally goes with everything? Something that you just know that okay, this is something I can get a fit off, pretty much with this shoe at any occasion.
Hmm, that's a good question. I got a lot of shoes, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not really anything like a particular sneaker that I just gravitate towards, like, boom.
Hmm.
Uh, I probably have to say, like, the Jordan 4, the one that recently came, the leather one, though. I like the leather one a lot.
Yeah, yeah, that was dope.
That reimagined one. Can't go wrong with, like, Chicago Jordan 1.
Yep.
Like, always throw that on and just be cool. I'm trying to look and see, like, what's just s the believe it or not, I probably the Jordan that I've purchased the most is the Metallic 5, the black
Really?
Metallic 5. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because for some reason, it always comes out around my birthday.
Hmm.
So, like, that's just like a birthday sneaker, and, last year, that really surprised me just how, like, people were going crazy. It's like the Wolf Grays this year is a tax shoe, I guess, but,
Right.
uh, it just people were going crazy. I had to pay for resale for that thing, but I
Wow.
think that's one I can just throw on, and I remember putting the white laces in them, when they retro years ago, and then them coming with the white laces, that was pretty dope.
Yeah. Yeah. The
Yeah,
white laces set him off, man.
absolutely, and then the outline hits
Yeah.
on them, like, that's just very simple shoe, but it's a beautiful shoe. It's clean. Just throw that on with whatever and be pretty set. So, yeah, that's one of them
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. And it's crazy as you're talking about it, I'm thinking, man, I got that last release. I hadn't worn them yet. Like I gotta unds them jokers, man.
Wow. Yeah, that's a good pair. I'll be busting them things out, man.
No doubt. No doubt. So like, do you have like a bucket list that you have of like sneakers that you don't have that's just like, hey, at some point I want to get these or I gotta get these?
Like grails, man, I done pretty much got everything that I really, really wanted. Um, last year I went kind of crazy. I just anything that I saw that I wanted, I just grabbed. Went too crazy. But I don't. The shoe is so old that it wouldn't make sense for me to cop. But like the Yeezy 2, I think that's one of the ones that I really like. I think I was an undergrad. I was broke, so I didn't really have the means to grab it because like they were only going for like three something. Reset. They weren't going crazy. Like when you look back. when they were doing like now, that's standard. You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
paying that standard for a resale, like for a Yeezy too.
absolutely.
Like I would have like if I was grown in that time, like I would have definitely
Yeah,
got had out all of them. You know what I mean?
no doubt.
A broke college kid, 350, 400, I couldn't swing it. You feel me?
Nah,
So
nah, that's like a 6 months worth of, like, trying to get through life kinda money right there.
right, right. Depending on when it hit, when that refund check gone, I'm going off a little paying my bills, and I had like a little job on campus
Yeah,
that got me gas money and little food money, little drink money and stuff like that, ticket money,
right,
but nothing to, buy. It wouldn't have been smart for me to just spend all my bread on a pair of shoes back then.
right.
Probably the Chicago one, Off-White, Chicago
Yeah,
one.
okay.
That's probably another one. If I could get my hands on that one, I would grab it. And then the Storm Blue Union one,
Yes, sir.
that's one of them ones too
Definitely,
that's
definitely.
eluded me. And again, I probably if I was had some bread, I would have been able to cop that because I think they were going like 4, 5, which was decent as opposed to they
Right.
going 12, 15 now.
Yeah, yeah, it's outrageous, man.
Yeah,
It's outrageous. I say that that Storm Blue is, um, one of the only non-OG Jordan 1s that can sit at the table with the 85s. Like, yeah, they went crazy with that shoe, man.
yeah, yeah.
Went
And I
crazy
think
with
that
it.
the Union fragment kind of gives that essence a little bit. It's not all the way there, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I could see it doing that. It's got some good quality leather.
Right.
I'm looking forward to getting my hands on those. I was able to secure that pair, so
Okay, dope. Dope, man.
mhm.
Yeah, definitely like those, man. So let's get into the thing that the world knows you for best, right? So, how would you categorize your wardrobe, and is it primarily, the type of clothes to dress up in, or do you have a strategy about how you kind of have diversified your wardrobe? Like, just kind of break down your wardrobe for us a little bit.
That's a great question. So when I first was starting like my blog or my influencer, it was the whole concept was the public Ivy League, right?
Okay.
And so I made that because it's an oxymoron. I went to Miami University, which is a public Ivy League, and basically my style is you have your menswear piece. Like I'm pretty good at menswear, so I can get in my suits. I can get into the casual dress, the cocktail attire. I can even get into like formal wear as well. I actually design my own suits, so I've been designing my own suits since 2019. You know what I'm
Dope.
saying?
Okay.
Yeah, so I have my own supplier. I did my one of my best friends. I did his whole wedding. I designed the suits for my own wedding, so I've been doing it for a while. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I got that background, and then I have my love is sneakers. So the streetwear is always going to be something that I can tap into as well. And so the reason I call it the public Ivy League because I think they both need to coexist. You know what I mean? You can't wear suits every single day. Like it's just impossible. It doesn't make sense. But
Right.
also you can't just wear sneakers and be dressed down every day. And so there has to be some type of middle ground. And I think that's where I stand at is that in that middle ground I can do a little bit of both.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Makes sense, man. And you mentioned earlier about growing up in Dayton and then kind of having the influences that you guys had in Dayton through the music scene and some of the legends that grew up there and from there, and then coming from Detroit. As you when you started designing your suits and kind of putting that type of stuff into motion, and even currently today, do you draw back from Dayton and kind of does that? Um, kind of growing up in that environment, does that have an influence on how you design your clothes today?
Absolutely. So Dayton was a big influence on my personal style. Like my grandfather, he was super clean. You know what I mean? He wore suits, he wore suspenders, he had gold watches. He had a gold tooth. You know, I don't have my
Okay.
golds in the razzle dazzle right now, but
Yes, sir.
I saw him doing that. He had the frames. He didn't have Cartier, but he always had, you know, he had some frames on him. That was a big influence just in my household, in my backyard.
Okay.
But I believe honestly, when I got into undergrad, I was very influenced by like Tumblr and different blogs.
Okay.
So it was a guy called the Style Blogger that I used to read faithfully, like every single day, and that's how I found out how I wanted my suits to fit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And now he does a thing called Articles of Style, and it's just ironic that he's still doing this thing and he's getting back to the education. That's what I followed him for, is the education. He got away from it because he was trying to promote his own personal brand, which was the Articles of Style. And now that he's back into giving the education and teaching people, his page is blowing up. You feel
Oh,
me?
wow.
So yeah, it's just it's good to see that he's getting back to the essence and giving people that game that they need. Also, it was a blog called Street Etiquette that I really, really dug into, and that was just two black gentlemen. I don't know. I think they were friends, but they used to just do photography all across the world. And they had beautiful pictures and just showing different types of style in New York and Africa and Europe and different things. So it was just like I was able to see that, even though I wasn't able to travel to those places. You know, that blog was really a heavy influence on how I looked at style. And then they had a piece called Black Ivy that really was influential to me because they were talking about like black dandies and
Yeah.
different things like that, and just how like that prep style really, black folks really um coined that. You know what I mean? And I didn't know that. So that was pretty dope. And going to a predominantly white institution, sometimes I found myself trying to, blend into their how they were dressing, and I had a polos, I had the Sperry's
Yes,
and
sir. Yep,
different things
yep,
like that.
yep.
So having that Black Ivy space was pretty dope.
Mhm.
And they call Miami J. Crew U because it's super
Okay.
duper preppy.
Okay.
Super duper preppy. Yeah.
No, that's dope, man. Nah, and
Mhm.
and it's, good to hear you call out some of those, influences that you had, because I don't even know when the last time I heard the word Tumblr, so just to know that, you were actually utilizing and maximizing, those, resources the way that they were intended, man, that's pretty dope.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
dope.
absolutely. Tumblr was, man, I miss Tumblr. Like I actually, so I created my Tumblr, and then like a lot of pictures that I liked, I printed the pictures out, and then I had a wall on my
Wow.
at the Alpha House. I had a wall in my room.
Okay.
It was just like I had my all my wall just full of like pictures, and people used to come in like, "Whoa, this is dope." And then I did the same thing when I got my first place. I
Mhm.
had like a whole wall. It was like a living Tumblr, you know what I mean? Like a living
Right.
feed, if you will, and just like all my interests, and just be like dope pictures of, Muhammad Ali or Malcolm X or, Michael Jordan, Michael Jackson, just people that influenced me, and, iconic people.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fire, bruh.
Mhm.
And that kind of leads us into the next question, which is about social media. So, social media has given us almost an instant access to millions of people at once. How has social media helped you promote your personal brand?
Man, social media it's been crazy. Like it's Carpe DMG. Like I created that name, actually in undergrad, because my initials are DMG, and I did Carpe DM, and then I just put the DMG for my initials.
Okay,
So seize the day, Carpe Diem. So that's where Carpe
absolutely.
DMG come from.
Okay,
Uh, and so really, I just saw a lane for myself, or just saw a vacancy. Like I was like, I'm a big guy. I don't see many people that look like me online, and I just wanted to have some representation. So I just started I think back in 2018, I just became like the January, it was like January 1, 2018 or 2019. I just was very intentional about where I wanted to take my page. And so then that's why I did the public Ivy League. Back then, all you had to do was really just take some pictures. You know what I mean?
Right,
Just
exactly. Yeah.
be fresh in some pictures and you was cool. You know what I mean? And
Right, right.
honestly, I think that was it was cool. I had gained like 15,000 followers, just off of that alone. But then I had hit a plateau and I was just like, all right, maybe this is where I'm gonna, this is it. This is
Right.
15,000. This is my reach. This is my apex. But it wasn't until I really started getting into the videos,
Okay.
and I was able to show my personality, and I was able to really like, show the vibe, setting like lighting the candles, using the shoehorn that I use, and just
Yeah.
different little signatures and things like that, putting the goals in,
Mhm.
and people were able to be like, okay, this dude, this big boy, he fly, you know what I mean? So from there, like, so when I really started locking in, and then honestly, my first get ready with me was on TikTok, and that's when my page like exploded. So I went to sleep, I had maybe 200 followers on TikTok. I woke up to like 1,000 followers. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And then I had a video that usually I get, you know, 300 views on that thing. That thing had 10,000 views. I'm like, oh wow! And that's when you had a video that exploded like that, you'll just get crazy amount of followers. You know what I mean? So I think that first get ready with me, in my opinion, went viral, and it got like maybe 100,000, 200,000 views, and I just was like commenting on every person's um like comment. I was trying to comment on, respond to every comment that I got. And I think the reason that it went viral, honestly, is because my suit was kind of wrinkled. You know what I mean? So the thing was, I was at home alone, and I tell this story all the time. I was home alone, like I had no kids, no wife at the house, and I was just like, man, I've been wanting to do a get ready. That's when get ready with me is. That was my first time ever doing one, and so I was like, I want to do the get ready with me, and I was like, I liked the outfit that I had on today, but I had already wore it, so it looked warm. And I was like, I'm not about to iron it. I was like, it's good enough. But, obviously people in social, man, they wore me out. It was like, baby, you look good, but let me come and iron that jerk for you. Let me iron that. So that was a whole thing. Then it was like, man, this dude never. I'm like, bro, I literally ironed this shirt. I bought a steamer and everything. This was like people gonna have something to say, but
Right.
well, that's engagement. So I'm like,
Yeah.
y'all watching, so I'm cool with that. And so like I grew over on TikTok, maybe 30,000 followers. I'm like, bro, I got more followers on TikTok in 3 months than I've been on Instagram 5, 6 years. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I'm like, I'm on TikTok, F Instagram. So
Yeah, yeah.
I just started like rolling on TikTok, rolling. I think I got to like 50,000 followers. But then motion, like I was posting so much, I had so much content. Then I was putting that content over on the gram, and then my gram started, exploding, and it just exponential growth. And so, like in 3 months, I think I gained like maybe 80,000 followers. So I hit 100,000 followers in like 3, 4 months. Just being consistent on there on Instagram, and then, yeah, we just been rolling ever since. You know what I mean? That was back in 2022. And shoot, it's 2026, and we just been staying consistent, just trying to figure out the next wave. Everybody and their mama doing get ready with me, so now I'm trying to figure out the next wave, and it seemed like it's those yapping videos. People just want to hear you talk. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because of AI, you don't know what's real and what's fake. So when you come with a real story, AI can't give you that. You know what I mean? Like today, I just told a story about me going in Giant Eagle. Somebody called me, like this girl basically called me old. You know what I mean? I was like, "Yeah, I'm 36." You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel old. She like, "You got gray in your beard." I'm like, "Girl, just bag my lemonade. Shut up."
Exactly. Yeah, run me my
So
stuff. Yeah.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. So yeah, social media has been a blessing, you know what I mean? It's definitely has its ups and downs and its, pros and cons, but for the most part I've been, utilizing it to its full capability.
No doubt, no doubt. And like speaking of that, as social media continues to evolve, like what do you think the toughest part that you faced so far to remain relevant?
Man, really just trying to stay ahead of the curve. When I did the Get Ready With Me's, that was something that was fairly new, especially for men and men of size. And so now that people are getting they've gotten used to that and now it's like, what's next? You feel me? So um I think the big thing now is storytelling and trying to find my voice online. And that's something that I'm developing and just a lot of creators. Some people are single, they don't have kids, so it's like now I'm incorporating everything. I want you to know me. You know what I mean? So like I'm talking about my family. I'm talking about me raising a 12-year-old. I have a set of twins that are just turned 3. My mom, I grew up in a single parent household, so I didn't see the dynamic of a mom and a father in the house. So now I'm learning that, and that's basically where I'm taking the content. It's called on the fly. So I'm learning everything on the fly. You know what I mean? And so I'm learning on the fly, and I'm staying fly while doing it. You dig
No
what I'm
doubt.
saying?
No doubt. I like
So
it. I like it.
yeah, so like on the fly is kind of the motto right now, and I'm doing different interviews with fathers, just seeing how they are learning how to do this thing because it's no rubric or it's no guide to show you how to be a present father. It's very easy to be a deadbeat dad.
Absolutely.
Like it's hard to be present in a kid's life and to go through the ups and downs and help them with the development. And some sleepless nights and some early mornings, but it's
Sure.
all worth it and it's a blessing at the end of the day.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt, man. And like you said, to have a voice in the space to highlight that, sometimes it's what that one person needs, right? As they're scrolling through the phone and they stop and they listen to the video and they just had an issue with their kid or with their spouse or whatever, just recently and they hear kind of like what your issue was and how you resolved it or how you got through it. That could be that one thing that they've been searching for that like changes their whole life, right? So no, that's dope, bro. I like that.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, yeah. So, you've incorporated your family and man, the stuff is hilarious, man. There's some great stuff that's like, kind of like you said, you have some serious, tone to some of the content, but the things like the skits and all that kind of stuff, man, I just be over here cracking up, bro.
I
So,
appreciate it.
like talk about the importance of incorporating your family and then like were they like, willing to participate initially, or did you have to convince them? Like, how did that go?
Well, like I said, I wanted to show more of myself and my family is very important to me. You know what I mean? Like I did a very uh vulnerable post last year. My father passed away. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And we didn't
yeah,
have the greatest relationship, but I felt that my audience needed to know how I felt. And to my surprise, there was a lot of people that went through the same thing that I went through. You know what I mean? Really, him not being present in my life has made me want to be even a better father. You know what I mean? Because I want to make sure that I go to the practices. I want to make sure that I help with the homework, that I, you know, like, like they want to invite me to their wedding. You know what I mean? Like,
right, right.
I want to be there. Like, like, even if they have a bachelor party, hey, dad, come on to the bachelor party. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
yeah. Pull up.
I think for me, and I think Kev on stage said this, like, when I get older or when they get older, them wanting to spend time over dad's house, you know what I mean? Over mom's house, or when they come spend their holidays with us. You feel me? That's making it. You know what I mean? That means that I made such an impact on their lives that they want to come spend some of their special moments with me, bring their kids over or bring their family, bring their loved ones over and share that time with me. So, um, my wife, she enjoys making content. We have a interesting dynamic when we're making our content because she's a perfectionist and I'm just like one take go. You know what I mean? Like I'm like,
Yeah, yeah, we got it.
yeah, I'm like, we got enough. She's like, no, no,
Yeah,
no, let's do it again. Let's do it one more time. Let's do it one more time. Like, I gotta do this. I gotta do this. Sometimes we butt heads a little bit because we have just a different ideology on how content should be made or just what we think looks good. You know what I mean? And sometimes, a lot of times, she's right. She's like, I think we should do this, or I think we should change this lighting, or this and that. And sometimes I'm I'm right as well on what I know. You feel me? So, my oldest son, he likes doing the content. He has his own page and everything like that. He doesn't do it on his own. When we do some stuff together, he'll like post it on his page and everything like that. Um, we're trying to get the twins. The twins are child actors, man. They're hard to control right now. So that's the next thing. But man, they like one of them. He loves being in front of the camera. Mace and Ace. He's just like does his own thing. Like he's a loner. You know what I mean?
yeah,
He'll get a book and just go in a corner somewhere and just read to himself and try to figure stuff out. And or he'll get a toy and just be focused on that toy. But Mace will be like he's all over the place. So it's just like just seeing their two different personalities is crazy. But
yeah,
I
yeah.
love watching them develop.
No doubt, man. Yeah, I think it's dope, man. And, watching the content and kind of watching, how you strategically integrate them into a lot of the content, like it always hits on this side, bro. Like as the viewer, like it always comes across good.
Thank you.
And but a few times though, it's like seems like your wife's like just want to kick you off the screen. It's like, yeah, I got this. Like, yeah, this my video.
Right, right. I like when we do that. Like I let wifey go crazy, or I let Tyson be like, "All right, this is mine. This is my birthday, so
Yeah.
you ain't got to be in this one." So, I set the stage and let them hold court, let them go crazy.
No doubt, no doubt.
Yes, sir.
Nah,
Yes,
I
sir.
think that's good. Like for our generation and back, growing up in the church and stuff like that, you had an opportunity to like kind of public speak and be in front of people and stuff like that. But today's generation, it's a little bit harder to like find those opportunities. So I think by you like removing the weight of your kids having to like think that, oh, somebody's watching me, like now it's going to be a natural thing for them to like be able to like take this thing, and for lack of a better word, we'll call it a script, and they're going to be able to take that and they're going to be able to they're going to be able to um provide the information that's needed, right? Whether it's a classroom presentation or, speaking in front of their, someone at work or having an interview and stuff like that, it's going to become like supernatural for them or, going through a pledge interview, whatever.
Oh yeah, got 3 boys, so somebody
Yeah,
gonna cross over.
absolutely, man. So, I think it's dope because it's organic and it's authentic, but it is also development at the same time. So I like how that looks, bruh.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah. So what advice would you give someone who aspires to be a social media influencer in the realm of fashion specifically?
I would say first be stylish, naturally stylish. You know what I mean? Like some people be like, man, I want to do what you do, or I want to do this and that. I'm like, man, you gotta find your niche. You gotta find what comes naturally to you. So if you are a naturally stylish person, it's not gonna feel like work because it takes a lot of reps. It takes a lot of videos. Like if you go back and look at my first video, man, it was trash. Like I'll be honest with you. Like my first reel, man, I think I did a transition with sandals, and I just feel like I got my toes out, all types of crazy. This like It's just my feet. It ain't even got my face in there. And it's like some Nike sandals and regular sandals, but that's where I started off at. You know what I
God,
mean?
dog.
But consistency is key. You know, like I said, I've been doing this thing, I guess, man, for 7 years now, you know, and I didn't realize how much content I had just stored up
Mhm.
because you know, sometimes I post some stuff over on Facebook and just let it do what it do. And I'm like, man, I got 300 videos I could just post over there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And go crazy and build that up over there. Um, but I think it's a lot easier, not easier to grow, but as far as the super duper edited stuff, people aren't gravitating to that as much. You know, people want the raw because like I said, like I mentioned before, with the with the rise of AI, folks want real interpersonal communication. Like they
Yeah.
want to talk to people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like now they're making AI influencers, and it's like, dog, I don't
Crazy.
know who's real, who's fake. I'm looking on there. I'm like, man, I don't. That's too good to be true. You know what
Right,
I
right,
mean?
right.
Like all the curves are just hitting just right. Like, oh man, like, nah, that's not real. You know, so yeah, just stay consistent, build community. You know, community is key. I think in Columbus, I'm trying to build the community up here, but I have more people outside of Columbus than I do in Columbus, but we still, you know, throw different pop-ups. We have you know, my wife and I, we do events for the community. And once you find that community, then they will be able to help guide your content because at the end of the day, you're making content that they want to watch and that they want to engage in and that they want to, you know, share with their friends. You feel me? Because that's how you combat the algorithm. If you make shareable content that other people want to see, relatable content, giving people education,
Yep.
and it doesn't have to be, you know, like you taking somebody to class, but I call it edutainment.
Yeah, I
You
like
know,
it.
because you're educating, but you're still being entertaining at the same time.
Right.
Well, it's almost like you're putting the medicine in candy, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And, people are learning something and they don't even realize that they're learning.
Yep.
You dig?
Absolutely. No, I
So,
think that's dope.
yeah, yeah, that's been that would be my tips for somebody that's trying to get into this space, specifically fashion. Go to the, you know, go to the black, the sneaker in Detroit, what's it called?
Yeah, Black Footwear Forum.
Black Footwear Forum, man, that's where we
Yeah.
met, is the Black Footwear Forum,
Absolutely.
and, I think, man, that's some of the best stuff for free, like, why
Yeah.
not? Like, if you're in the area,
Yeah.
that's just, like, a 2.5, 3-hour drive from me, like, man, that's easy, so I've been enjoying that, going to Culture Con, going to, you know, Complex Con,
Mhm.
like, people have to see you outside, you feel
Got
me?
to.
You can't just stay behind the camera and inside the walls. You gotta live life a little bit to really make the content hit and for people to resonate with it.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I agree with that 100%, man. That's like a motto that I adopted a couple years ago, man. You gotta be present, you know? You gotta be present, bro. Yeah, I know we were rolling around Detroit, man, and we were, like, at a stop sign or red light or something. And homeboy walked up to the car and was like, "I know you," or something like I forgot exactly what he said, man. I was like, my brother worldwide, man. He got strangers walking up to him on the street like, "Can I get
It's
your
crazy.
autograph?"
You know, Detroit's so black, bro. Detroit's so black. Like I love Detroit and I get a lot of love out there. So
Okay.
that's my demographic, black folks. So, you know, they not afraid to, you know, "What you doing out here?" I'm like, "Man, I'm out here kicking it, man. You know, you from here?" Like, "Nah." But, you know, I show love, like, so
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that was crazy, man.
and imagine my wife, she like, man, we was in I think the craziest, like, person to, like, say, like, "Hey, I know you," we were at a random like bodega in Puerto Rico,
What?
and one of the natives, it wasn't even like a tourist, it was one of the natives that was working at like a little taco stand. He's like, "Hey, are you do you do social media? Are you like?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then he's like, he's like, with the shoe on, the shoe thing? I'm like, "Yeah." So I'm like, "Bruh, this is crazy." You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't take it for granted. You know what I mean? I really appreciate the reach that I get through this thing, and the relationships that I made through over the years.
Yeah,
And it's just dope, man. And that's why I stay consistent with it, because it's people that really are looking to me to like, yo, what's the next cologne, or what's the next thing at Walmart, or what's the next thing at wherever, when the next drop from tutelage, you know what I mean? So it's people that really are invested in me, and appreciate the content and the education that I'm giving.
absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And like speaking of like the cologne, like when did you add fragrances into like your content? Like what made you do that, and why was that important for you?
Well, it was I always like to smell good, so it was a progression. So, I started with the oils, the Egyptian musk
Hmm.
and the different things like that. You feel me? Like that's really where it started.
Yeah.
And I just used to keep oils on deck. And so then when I was like, all right, this is cool, but everybody got the oils. Like, let's do something else. So then I started with designers, and I think I asked one of my fraternity brothers, like, hey, what's some good cologne? Because I didn't know. And then YouTube, I started doing my own research on YouTube, and then I had a couple, uh, basically like some of the big time fragrance influencers. I was just looking to see what they were saying, and I would do my research and be like, okay, this is something I need in my collection. This is something I need in my collection. So then I would go to like TJ Maxx and Marshalls and just try to see what I could find out of there that was cheap, maybe 25, $30, $50 max,
Hmm.
add that to the collection.
Okay.
So then I started, it just was a snowball effect. So then once I started to develop my own like taste and what I liked,
Hmm.
then I started like finding the content creators that like similar stuff that I like. So I was like, okay, if they like it, then I'll probably like it. Let me, follow these people. And so then I started getting to the designer stuff, and then I started getting into the niche fragrances. And now I'm getting into, kind of wrote it back a little bit, because a lot of these like Middle Eastern houses are coming out with fragrances that smell like the niche stuff and the ultra expensive stuff. So it's like, okay, I can pay $30 to smell like something that costs $400 or $500.
Right.
You feel me? And granted, I still have like my, Le Labos or Mason Francis Kirk John, or, different stuff that's expensive that I really like. But if I'm going to blind buy something, I'd rather blind buy something that costs 40, $50, $30 than something that costs 300 to $400.
Absolutely.
That's a much bigger investment. And if I don't like it, then I'm just like, dang, I'm SOL.
Right.
You feel me? So the reason I started putting it into the content, because I always used to show in my get ready with me is what I'm wearing as far as like my cologne.
Hmm.
You feel me? And so then people were expecting me to smell good when they see me in person. Like, man, you really do smell good. I'm like, yeah, it's for real. You feel me? And so then I saw, like, I think I did a couple videos. I was like, those videos did very well. And I was like, all right, well, this might be a vertical that I need to add to my content is fragrance, and I think last year I did a series showing people they could get fragrances out of Burlington,
Okay.
and those did pretty well. Those went pretty viral. And it was just like, let's go into Burlington and see what we can find, and like if you go in there and you don't know what to look for, you're just like, it looks like a different language.
Right.
But if you can go to my page and I can give you a little, a little cheat sheet, then you know what to search for, you know what to hunt for. Or if you just want to get it off of Amazon, you can do that as well. It all comes back to helping guys be more confident, um, helping them smell better, and doing it at an affordable cost.
Right. Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, yeah. Because when you started talking about, like, layering and all that kinda stuff, I was like, "Yeah, bruh, I'll mess that up because 'cause I'll be walking around here smelling like, the fair and, Macy's at the same time, and it's like, yeah, I kinda stick to my little 3. I got about 3 that I choose from, and I try to stick to those, man, but, yeah, you be breaking down, like, the fragrance in regards to, like, you know, where it comes from and like the different ingredients and
Yeah.
like what it matches well to, almost like people know what wine to like drink with fish versus steak kind of thing, right? So no, I think you do a great job, man. And it's evident that, you spend time like really understanding what it is that you're talking about, man. And I think people that's what they appreciate about it. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it definitely was a process, and I like I just explained to you, and it's like, because at first I think my first like designer cologne was like Chrome. I feel like a lot of people, I went to Macy's, I saw they had a cool bag. I was like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is cool. So I
Yeah.
like Chrome. That was my stuff.
Yeah.
As I got older, I was like, bro, I'm not wearing Chrome. Like nothing wrong with it, but it's like it's just super regular, super basic. It's a very clean, great smelling scent, but then I'm like, I want to smell different. I want to when I walk into that room, I want to like, dang, who like a prime example. I went to a bar. One of my homies had an event, a party. It was like an R&B party, and I got a new fragrance out, and I layered it up with something else. So it was my first time wearing it out. So I call that a field test. I just want to see, was it wasn't a super big event. So I was like, this is somewhere I can test it out at,
Hmm.
see if it's hitting.
Right.
I swear, I went in there, I've never had this many compliments, like, just off the back. Like, it was like 4 or 5 people.
Wow.
"What are you smelling? What do you got on?" Like, it came to the point where I just had it up on my phone. I was just letting people take pictures like, "Yeah, this is it, bro." Like
Wow.
like, I layered it up with these 2, like, you can grab these, man. And that's the thing, I'm not gatekeeping, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Because it's just like, for what? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, even with an outfit or with some shoes or with a link, like, you're probably not gonna wear it like I'll wear it. You feel me? So it's like we all are unique in our own personal style, and everybody wanna be fresh. Everybody wanna be
Yeah.
confident.
Yep.
Everybody wanna look, presentable. So I try to make sure that I, give people the lane, and especially men of size, because it's hard to find things that is stylish in our size. And that's why with my brand tutelage, I try to go up to a 5X. So like even the blanks that I choose, I try to make sure that that blank goes up to like a 4 or 5X just for my big fellas. You feel me? Because it's like we want to be fresh too. We want to be fly too. And guys are getting on me. I done lost about 60, 70 pounds. So they like, bro, you're not even a big boy no more. I'm like, bro, I'm still about 280, 285, bro. So I'm still there with y'all. You know what I mean? But I gotta be healthy for the fam. You feel me? It's all come back to the fam. Like you don't see
Absolutely.
no 70-year-old 300 pounders. You feel me? I'm trying to add some years back onto my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can be here for
Yep.
the fam.
Health is key, bro. Health is key
Health
for
is wealth,
sure.
baby. Health is wealth.
Absolutely. So you kind of mentioned earlier, you touched on it, you and your wife are major players in the social scene in Columbus. How did that come about, and give us an idea of what the scene in Columbus is like? What type of social environment exists there in Columbus?
Ironically enough, we created our events company, Just Friends, because we needed money for our wedding.
Okay.
So I was like, look, this father the bride stuff, it's probably not gonna come about. You know what I mean? So we gotta figure out how we gonna fund this thing, because I'm not trying to go in debt for
Yeah.
one day.
Right.
And so we started doing parties every month. and it was called Just Friends. Just Friends, and we changed it to Just Friends 614.
Okay.
So I'm a fundraiser. I work at Ohio State University. I'm a fundraiser, and I travel across the country. So I used to go to different cities and see like different things that they were doing. I'm like, okay, they got an R&B only party. That's pretty dope. Like we don't have that in Columbus. Like I think we should do something like that, or I see a karaoke party. Like let's do some karaoke. Like I love karaoke. That was I think that was one of our first dates, me and my wife,
Okay.
was karaoke. So and it's just crazy that when I was just asking people to pull up on me like, "Hey, let's do some karaoke," nobody would come, but when I start charging people, that's when people wanted to come.
Really?
You feel me? So, it's just wild, you feel me? So, yeah, so we just started doing unique events in the city. We do a garden party. We did a, Juneteenth block party, and that was before Juneteenth got to, like, how it is, like, now, everybody's doing something for Juneteenth, but, back in 2020, 2019, people really wasn't trying to do Juneteenth events. That's before it was a national holiday as well. So, yeah, we always try to base it around the community, and we were focusing on young professionals in Columbus because, like I said, it's a very big city. But people always like, man, it's nothing to do in Columbus, or it's not. I'm like, it's plenty to do. You just got to know what's going on, who to talk to,
Yeah.
and with our events, Just Friends, we were able to, like I said, raise the money for our wedding. We didn't go into any debt. We
Wow.
had money for our honeymoon and things like that. So after we met our goal, we got married in 2019. We were like, okay, do we continue this? Like we done built up this listserv. We'd been doing it every month. Do we continue? And so we scaled it back. We didn't do it every month because it was just like, all right, we're getting burnt out trying to kick it every month. So we do like more signature events. So that's why we do the big garden party in the summertime. We have the do like a ugly sweater party in the wintertime. And then we do the Juneteenth block party. So those are our, and then we might have some one-off events. My wife has an event space. So she does like women empowerment brunches and different things like that.
Okay.
Because her passion is event design, and I more so have the ideas. I mean, I have an idea. I like, hey, let's do this, and then she'll be like, okay, I'll be the person to you know put it into play.
Right.
So.
Right. That's dope,
As far
man.
as the social scene, it's a good scene though in Columbus. I feel like if somebody, it's a good place to raise a family. A good place to uh build a home. You know, so that means that the cost of living is not crazy for it to be such a big city. The cost of living is pretty mild in my opinion.
Okay.
So yeah, get a lot of bang for your buck up here.
No doubt, man. Yeah. I think I was there a couple of years ago, man, and I enjoyed it. I didn't get a chance to like get out and about like I wanted to, but it was one of those cities I was like, yeah, I need to come back here because I need to explore, man. Like walking around downtown, like felt really good,
Yeah.
a lot of like cool architecture. I love architecture. So like being able to see some of that was good, man. So I definitely got a mob through there again.
Yeah, next time you're here, go holler at your boy, man. We definitely take you around, take you to the, Soul Classics, take you to different shops and everything
Yeah.
like that,
Okay.
Go
That's
out,
a
kick
bet.
it a little bit, you feel
Yeah.
me?
Yeah. Yeah, there's one thing I identified that we talked about too that I need to come up there for, but we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later, bruh. Um, so as fashion trends continue to evolve, how do you keep up with the change from, the perspective of your personal style, but also from the perspective of providing others advice on how to dress for the occasion?
Hmm. I feel like, fashion does evolve, but a lot of the principles stay the same. You know what I mean? If you have a good sense of style, I don't feel like you should go too heavy on the trends, you feel me? Because like trends come and go, but
Yep.
style is eternal, in
Yep.
my opinion. So it's some things like I bedazzled, put some jewels on some shorts and stuff like that. Like I got into that wave. Um, but with my suiting, it doesn't really. I think now it's like the flare bottom, like the bell bottoms is kind of back a little bit. People aren't doing the super fitted stuff anymore. It's a more giving people more space, a little bit baggier look, which I like, especially being a big guy, so I ain't gotta be all snug in my suit, anything like that. Um, but yeah, I just try to like with social media, it's just so easy to look and see what's hot with using social media, and then looking at music. Musicians tend to push style. Back in the day it was Kanye. Jay-Z had us wearing big baggy button downs for a minute, big throwback jerseys. Ye had us doing polo and, different type of things like that. Uh, but w- going back to having your own personal style, so then you can incorporate some of these trends, but you still never go all the way to a whole nother lane. You know what I mean? Still stay in your lane. That's how you. And I think going back to your question about how to be a influencer or a tastemaker, if you will, in the space. It's about having your own personal style, your own personal ideals on style and on fashion.
Mhm.
And that's really where this content space is going, because people want to know, like, what do you think? What's going through your head? And that's why I'm talking a lot more in my videos, because I want people to know my reasoning and the way I look at going about a particular outfit or a particular purchase. You feel me? For example, the bag, like that's
Yeah.
we can get in that a little bit, because you had your sentiments on the bag. So I bought the Coach Empire 48 bag,
Yeah.
and I made a series out of it, because like, it was literally me going to my friends like, "What y'all think about this bag?" Because I was trying to get that that clarification that I was in the right direction. But sometimes it's like, man, people don't have the same vision as you, and you got to jump off the porch and just make it happen. You feel
Yep.
me? And
Yep.
so that's kind of what I did with the bag, and it caused a stir on social media. It's
Yeah, yeah.
polarizing, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, it
So
caused a little stir. You know what's funny, bro, is that as soon as, like, you asked the question, I know you and I interacted on it a little bit, I was like, "He gonna buy that bag." I knew it.
bag probably was already bought. If I'm being honest with you, I just was making the content, making it cool. You know what I'm saying? Getting people into it. You feel me? But
Yeah.
the bag was secured. Yeah, but
Yeah,
the thing, I get so many compliments on that thing. I done took it to Cabo, in the airport. Oh man, that's a great looking bag.
yeah,
I'm walking. I use it
yeah,
as a diaper bag,
yeah,
for the babies and stuff, because I carry a lot of stuff.
absolutely.
So it's my little, it's my thing right now. And I don't
Yeah,
carry it every day, but for when I got a lot of stuff that I need to get around, like, that bag is clutch.
yeah, yeah, no doubt, man, and, yeah, when I saw you were using it as a diaper bag, I was like, "Yep," because my kids are older now, but I think back to that time when they were little. I mean, I carried a big bag of something. It may have not said coach on it,
Yeah,
but it was a big bag of a whole bunch of stuff. So,
man.
you definitely maximize the use of it.
So much stuff: diapers, wipes, snacks, my laptop,
Yeah,
the little portable thing that they use, because they need to be occupied. You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
And I keep a little cologne in there. When I
Yeah,
gotta freshen up. You feel
yeah,
me? So it's like, bro, it's clutch, man, super clutch.
no
Especially
doubt.
going to like bigger cities like New York or Chicago. different things like that. That's when you really need a bag because you don't have a car, you feel me, in some of those bigger cities. So it's like I need to carry basically my life
Right.
and got to go in this bag. So let's look
Absolutely.
stylish while we doing it.
No doubt. No doubt. So we kind of getting close to the end here, bro. We're gonna wrap it up good, but I got one more thing that hopefully can be useful for the audience. What advice have you been given that has been most impactful on your journey as a content creator?
Mm, the advice that I've been given. So I think the first time I would just say not just, but I would say stay consistent.
Hmm.
Consistency is super key and being authentic because there's only one Destin Grayson, aka Carpe DMG. It's only one Gabe. You feel me? So when we telling these stories, it's important to tell your story, tell our story. You feel me? Because there's nobody living our life.
No doubt.
So it's gotta be real. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like you can't look on your explore page and find somebody that's doing exactly what you're doing. It might be similar and it could be relatable. And so that's why you tell your story because somebody else is going through a similar situation as you.
Hmm.
But being authentic is how you get to that next level. You
Word.
feel me? Like you can start off by seeing what's working and putting your own sauce to it. That's how a lot of people like that's how I started. That's how I start going crazy. But to really go to that next level, to get on that Keith Lee level, to get on that Drewski level, to get on that, you know what I mean? Like these big entities, they found a way to package their story up and give it to the masses and people fall in love with it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So it's like that's I feel like that's how people differentiate themselves is figuring like Beamer. Beamer
Yeah.
start going crazy because
Right.
you know what I mean? Like I met him, he had like 50, 60,000 followers. Now he got
Yeah.
200,000. Like he going crazy and
Yeah.
everybody kicking it with clips, kicking it
Right.
with, you name it. You feel me? So it's like, but he found his voice online and just leaned into it. You feel me? And that's something that I'm still developing.
Okay.
But once we get there, and I think we're
Yep.
very close. We're gonna go to that next level.
Unlock that next level for sure, bro. You
Yes,
on it.
sir.
You on it, bro. I want to make sure that have an opportunity to kind of talk about how people can find you and plug you, but I also want you to like talk about tutelage, like, talk about, why you started it, when you started it, and, how people can find your products and support that.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm wearing. Gabe has on the For the Love shirt. That's one of my first designs. And that was an ode to 90s love. You know what I mean? Like, so it goes back to me saying, like, my wife is like, some of our first dates felt like we were in a movie because it was like, that's where I was learning my game from these movies. You feel me? Like, I'm watching Love Jones. I'm watching, I mean, How to Be a Player. I'm watching But The Best Man, The Wood, different things like that. And I'm like, I'm learning game from these movies. And tutelage is kind of about game as well, but it's about guidance. You feel me? And that's being under someone's tutelage is you're learning from that person. You're receiving game. You're receiving guidance. You're receiving just ways to live life. So that's kind of how I look at the brand. And I had uh, a old the fatherhood shirt that I did, and that's again, and my father was absent in my life, so a lot of these TV dads raised me or taught me how to be a man or showed me what an example of a man looked like
Hmm.
outside of my grandfather. You feel
Yeah.
me? So I use a lot of those tactics when I'm teaching my sons myself. Uh, and you can find the brand is weartutelage.com. and wear dot tutelage on like Instagram. My personal page is Carpe CARPE_DMG. Again, I am for all people, but specifically for my big and tall guys. That's what I kind of gravitate toward. That's my main audience because we need that representation and we need to know where we can find some of these good garments. You know what I mean? Um, and I started tutelage probably a little over a year ago. And it's a work in progress. It's a passion project. You know what I mean? It's a work in progress. Um, but I just figured I was like, man, I'm giving people all these links.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why not make my own product for my people?
Absolutely.
Like instead of like trying to figure out and find out all these random brands and these random products that are dope,
Right.
but like let's tap into my own personal things that I like, the things that I would like to wear because if I like to wear it, then somebody else probably will too.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So that was my thought process when I developed the brand and we're still trying to figure out the actual direction on where we want to go. It's some products that I want to get out there that I'm figuring out what's how to curate that and how to make that properly. But yeah, man, we got some fire on the way. I got something that I'm gonna probably get out at the end of the month, some teas, and then later on in like the spring summer, we're gonna have some more products for us as well. So, yeah, stay on me, be on the lookout, for that next drop. Make sure you follow. Again, it's wear.tutelage. Follow the brand. Follow me, Carpe_DMG. I'm on TikTok. I got a YouTube page that we're bubbling up. We got about 10,000 subs over there.
Wow.
I'm not super consistent as far as like the long form content, but I post a lot of my videos from Instagram over there. But that's something that I'm gonna really lock in on is getting that long form because people do want to know my thought process behind things. And when you on Instagram, you only got a certain amount of time that you can hold somebody's attention. And so for that long form stuff, people are more prone to, stay and watch a 10, 15, 20, 30-minute video on YouTube because that's the platform. That's what it's designed for.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's we're gonna definitely lock in over there because it's a lot of opportunity for my niche over there.
Okay. Oh, that's dope, bro. Yeah, so y'all make sure y'all go support him. He's on all the social platforms. He's doing some great things, and he's putting a lot of work into making sure that he's providing content that's usable for his audience. So, bruh, I thank you for taking the time to jump on the show. Like we've been trying to make this work for a minute, and I know that finally getting it done is awesome, man. But it's great content because I knew that you share your stuff with your audience, but I want to make sure that whatever little reach I got, that we can make sure that we direct more and more people towards what you got going on, because like you said, even though you tailor towards big and tall, everybody can benefit from the tutelage that you provide on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely, bro. And I appreciate you having me. It's a pleasure, chopping up with you, telling a little bit about my story, and just getting people acclimated to the brand, getting people acclimated to the personal page, and yeah, I'm looking forward to us kicking it, down the line.
absolutely, it's automatic, bro. We're gonna make
Yes,
sure it
sir.
happens. I appreciate you, my brother.
All right, King.
Peace
Oh
now.
six.
That's my brother. Yes, sir.